Well, welcome to another Peak Careers interview. I'm Jim Peacock, and today we are going to talk a little bit about could you benefit from hiring a business coach to help you improve. My guest today, there should be two S's on there, but there won't be now. Karen Chopra, who is founder of Chopra Consulting for Consultants, and Mark Danaher, who is the founder of Mark Danaher Training and Coaching. So today we are going to explore, what has worked, for you folks, and I'll talk about how it's worked for me, hiring a business coach, and then recommendations that any one of us may have for finding a coach if that's what you'd like to do. So Mark Danaher, I've known Mark since he was president of National Career Development Association, and we brought him to Maine Career Development Association. I can't remember what year that was. What do you think?
2014.
2014. Great. He's been a career counselor and coach for over 25 years, working with students and clients ranging from high school through retirement. And Karen and I met at probably Mid-Atlantic Career Counseling Conference down in Pennsylvania. She helps therapists, counselors, coaches, and other consultants create thriving businesses. And she also has a well-established career counseling private practice in Washington, D.C. She's also the author of Coaching Career Clients on Salary and Other Workplace Negotiations. So welcome, both of you. I'm excited to be here and talk about this. This is a follow-up to a blog that I wrote last week, and it's really a follow-up to me working with a business coach for a couple of years. So, anyways, well, we didn't. Whoever wants to jump in first, maybe we'll have Karen jump in first here. But how has working with a business coach helped you in private practice and your own career development, and just your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I have hired a number of professionals over the years, not all of them designated as coaches, but when I was writing my book, I worked with both technical specialists as well as an editor. In the therapy world, we have what's called a supervisor. So this was somebody that I worked with, but we spent some time noodling about business issues and especially my emotional responses to business issues. So I've had a sounding board professional in my life for much of my 20-year practice, but I hired a business coach a couple of years ago when I was looking at transitioning the business and figuring out what I wanted it to look like, essentially in its next iteration. I had built this business, it had worked great for a number of years, and I now needed it to look a little different, and I needed to think about it a little differently. Mm-hmm. And the reason we hire coaches, the reason people hire us, is that we are looking for clarity. And that's what I needed help with. I could not get clear in my own head what I needed to do, and she was tremendously helpful.
Yeah, and there's lots of ways where we can gather information, right? A lot of people have what's called mentors or whatever. I have a Peak Careers Advisory Board, and actually Karen is on my Peak Career Advisory Board. I have a group of 6 people that I work with and check in occasionally, and it's a great way to sort of get some feedback. But as you say, a business coach, though, tends to have a little more expertise, and they can really kind of help you through those, I want to redo this business a little bit, and they're so helpful,
Right, and they're focused on the business. They're not focused on you personally. They're focused on what is this business? Who are your clients? They really take it, as people, that's what career counselors are, career coaches are. We want to get into the story. And the coach wants to hear the story, but they also want to hear what's the plan.
Right.
What is it that you are going to deliver to me in the next month or, 4 weeks or 3 weeks? What am I going to see from you? What are the concrete goals?
Yeah. Mark, you and I have talked about this business coach, and I know you've been using one for quite a while. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think it was one of those things that I was, I had a side business. It was going well, but it wasn't getting to the point where I wanted it to be. And I wanted to kind of bring it to a different level. And, I had tried different things and I was getting frustrated. And so basically I was out looking around, found a business coach. I actually happened to be someone in Connecticut talked to him, kind of looked at his background, and he's been with me now, I don't know, 4 or 5 years that we've been working together. And really, like Karen said, it's clarity. And it really helped me kind of look at what I was trying to do. He heard my story, but one of the things too, I was doing a lot of self-sabotage. I wasn't really moving forward. I do a lot and then it would stop. And a lot of that was kind of also dealing with my understanding and feelings around money and earning money beyond what my normal job was. And so he really helped me kind of look at that and then helped me kind of structure and kind of guide me as I went through. So it was really, for me, it's been an excellent opportunity, twice a month that we talk and go through things and really help me kind of figure out, what my path is and help me kind of see a different perspective compared to what I'm seeing as I go forward.
There's nothing like paying some money to have someone give you this advice and the clarity, but then to hold you accountable. It's not any different than my clients that I deal with, right? I mean, I'm trying to nudge them along, give them some guidance, give them some clarity, right? That's what I do with people. And then we have an appointment, 2 weeks from today, or whatever it is. And it really holds you accountable. Go ahead.
I was going to say, Mark raised a really excellent point that I want to point out for all of us in the helping professions, that business coaches aren't afraid of money. And many of us in private practice or who have our own businesses are afraid of money. We're afraid to ask for it. We're afraid to ask for too much. It's sort of a scary topic. And business coaches, they are not afraid of this. They just dive right in to the money issue. And they call us on our stuff.
That's a great point. Because, I came from higher ed and it was just like the focus was just, it wasn't money. It wasn't money. It was altruistic and it's, all great stuff. And I still got paid, no matter what happened in that 2-week time frame. With my own business, I don't get paid sometimes, and I think that getting your head around how you look at money it's been tough. She's nudging me hard on that. She's definitely nudged me hard on that. And kind of, it's great, ask the questions. Well, what if, how much? I mean, what have you done for homework? And it's really, she's really helped me a lot. I've taken a little hiatus from her for a few months, but I'm actually meeting with her tomorrow for the first time. I took a few months off to do some other work in this last few months, but I'm really looking forward to having that chat with her tomorrow and look at some of my problems. It's like I can't take all my problems to my advisory board or call up Mark or my brother or whomever. There's just stuff when you have your own business that you can't really, just nobody to talk to really. And having that outside person with that outside perspective to me, it was so great to have that person. It was a great outlet.
And I have to say too, the nice part about a business coach is they don't hold back. Like Karen said, they're just going to tell you like it is. They're not going to sugarcoat it, and they want to get you to a certain level, and they don't hold back. And I think that's the best part about the accountability and just being honest with us.
So the three of us have gone down this with, it's sort of been framed in, private practice. But it seems to me that I think I could have developed it in my own career development even when I was in higher ed to make myself better. I think I was sort of, even before I was doing private practice, I really feel like it would have been nice to have someone to say, what else could I be, or how can I advance myself? And so we're calling this, we've sort of talked this, and I've said this in my blog, I've called it a business coach, but it feels like there's a need for a lot of people to say, how can I make my career better, right? Even within our own profession. What are some thoughts on that from either one of you?
I mean, clarity, a little bit of clarity. This is one of my, things that I say to clients. A little bit of clarity will go a tremendously long way. So if we think of ourselves as essentially our own personal enterprises like Me Inc., You Inc., Mark Inc., then yes, thinking about a business coach, like, where am I getting the greatest return on investment in my current career? What are the business lines that I should be thinking about developing, even if it's business lines for the university, for example? And what's the brand that I want to be sharing out there in the world? Right? Branding is sort of the new catchphrase, but letting people know this is who I am in the professional world. This is what I'm known for. If you need this, come to me. And we should be developing that even when we're in a job, because this is what we do for our clients, right? Even if you're working, you need a brand so that your network knows who you are and how to market you for you.
Yeah.
I have to agree. I mean, it's one of those things as you go through. I probably had it informally as I was going through and working in my different jobs, and kind of had that colleague that we went back and forth and kind of did some coaching. But it would be nice if it was on a regular basis and it was set up, because we all can help grow from that. I think no matter where you're at and who you are, coaching can definitely help you grow as a person, as a career, and move forward, and help you grow as a brand. And a lot of times it's just that opportunity to have those conversations that you wouldn't have with your wife or with your husband, or even with your best friend. It's somebody to really kind of be the objective outsider to look at what's going on and help see some of those blind spots and ways that you can grow and move forward.
It seemed to me that I was so busy with getting stuff done and staying on top. I'm so proud of the fact that I got back to everybody on email that day. And then she would look at me and go, "You didn't make any money today." And I'd be like,
Ooh.
"You're right. I didn't do anything that actually made me money today or got me closer to making money, to either brand myself in a better place or to somehow add value to someone else or a group or a discussion that would actually bring in some work for me, And it really she really forced me to think about, where am I spending my time and how do I prioritize that? I mean, I think, man, one of the best things she ever did for me was she really helped me. One, I don't know if you can see my 3-month calendar on the wall, really kind of gave me that. She was like, this would really help you to be able to look ahead. I'm always looking ahead 3 months, what needs to be done? What do I need to do today to get to where I want to be in 3 months? And it was, that was pretty good. And then it was, I only have, my to-do list only has 3 items on it every day, because I was driving myself crazy because, well, I felt like I was busy because I had a long list of things to do, but I wasn't getting the most important stuff done, right? Like the Stephen Covey stuff. And it was that was the stuff. And I think, Karen, when you talk about clarity, that was this view where she was able to look at this from a different perspective and go, that's not good value for you, right? Other thoughts on what other benefits to hiring a coach to sort of help you out that either of you can think of?
Well, so I actually think there's a karmic benefit to hiring a coach. And this is something, because I work with people who are trying to develop private practices and small consulting firms. So of course, they are busy trying to market their expertise, their ability to help clients get clarity, their ability to help clients formulate plans and execute plans for job searches. And they want to build a business where they expect people to pay them for their expertise. And it always just floors me that people who are building consulting businesses where they wish to be paid for expertise are so incredibly unwilling to pay somebody else for expertise. And I just think that there's something karmically wrong with that. Like, you can get job search information on the web. It is there. It's everywhere. It's not rocket science. And yet, as career coaches and counselors, we think we have something to add to our clients. There's all sorts of business information out there on the internet. And yet, paying somebody to help us build skills and get clarity is probably the best money we will spend. And I think truly, one of the reasons my business has been successful is because I have been willing to go out and pay other people who have a different expertise than I do to get me over some humps. And so I think if you you are unwilling and you just cannot bring yourself to we're not talking tens of thousands of dollars, right? Where, you can hire me for a single hour if you want to. But if you're not willing to do that, I just think the universe is going to wonder about sending you people to pay for your expertise.
That's a great point, because, it's the reason that counselors have supervision, right? And for those people who are in the counseling field, we know that, there's a benefit to having supervision, that sort of outside person with more experience to sort of, give you that perspective. It's the same thing with really developing myself and my career and my business, is to pay someone. And I was very reluctant. I was that person, I didn't want to spend the money. But you really have to look at it not as an expense, but as an investment, because it really is an investment more than an expense, and it's money well invested.
And I think what Karen was saying too, is we also have to get over the scarcity of money. We have this thing that we can't invest in ourselves. And so if we're not going to let the money flow out, the money's not going to come in. And I think that's very important as we look at ourselves. What we invest into ourselves will come back, and it'll probably come back tenfold if we're open to it. And I think that's what we really have to look at when we're looking at a coach.
That's a great point. And it was, it was sort of, at one level, you almost can't afford not to hire someone.
If you want the business to grow and scale.
If you want the business to grow, and that's where I was. I was at my business. I was like in year 3 or year 4, and I had grown my business, and then it just leveled off. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, I didn't know what to do, right? I didn't know how do I move that thing up, right? Well, I hired a business coach, and guess what? It went back up, and it was investing in myself, investing in my business, and gaining the expertise, as we all said at the beginning, getting some of that the outside views, getting some of that expertise to sort of help people move along. It was a great investment of my and it was a commitment of time, not time, and it's time and money that causes that. But the results are great. So some thoughts on how do you find a coach that, for what you need? What are some thoughts on, how you go about finding a coach?
I'm a big fan of actually starting with Google. Like, just start Googling business coaches and just seeing who's out there and how they present themselves on their websites. And Google will then say, oh, if you search for this, what about this? We were actually doing this the other night, Jim. And so that, you sort of follow the chain around and see who's out there. Again, if I want a business coach, they should be easy to find on Google and social media.
Good ones should be
easy to find. So it's a way of sort of auditioning them, and then asking people. Like, certainly you've had a great experience, so I would be asking for your recommendations on your coach and any other coaches you've heard about that you've liked. Just like job seeking, it's all about the network, right?
And
the other part, just to follow up too, is and do that informational interview. Do that, talk to them, have that conversation to see what they're like, and do you match? Is the personality a good fit, as you go through? Because you're going to find that in that conversation. Do they rub you the wrong way, or do you connect well with them and you feel like you can grow? Because that's the other part. You have to believe in your coach. If you don't believe in your coach, you're not going to move forward. So they could be the best coach in the world, but if you don't take that time and really feel like you're going to connect and grow from them, things aren't going to change. So you really want to look at that also.
Yeah. I know I went through my contacts and literally just looked at people that are in private practice, and I emailed, I think 3 or 4 or 5 people every day who I was contacting. I just went through different people and said, Mark, have you ever used a business coach? And I probably sent one to you, Karen. I've sent it to hundreds of people who I know who are connected with me on LinkedIn or in my getting my constant contact newsletters. And I just said, okay, who are the private practice people? And I literally took, that was 3 to 5 emails every day for about a month, you know. So it took me a few minutes, but it was really only a few minutes every day. And, you know, a bunch of people said, no, I don't use one. And other people said, yeah, I did, but I wasn't happy with one, but I found another one I liked. But ultimately, that's really how I found, well, I got it down to about three coaches, and they're pretty much that they'll all give you a 30-minute complimentary session. So that's really where you get a sense of what their style is, and, you know, what to expect. And like Mark said, you know, do you connect to them? You know, can you trust them? Do you feel like there's growth potential here? So anyways, final thoughts on benefiting from hiring a business coach from either one of you?
I would say that if you want a successful business, you should build into your annual budget money that you spend on the expertise that you need, right? That should just be one of your expense items, because as Mark said, that, you know, it's an investment. You know, it's reinvesting your capital into future growth. And ever since I had my business, there was always somebody, different types of professionals, right? But there was always somebody that was broadening my perspective on my business and what I needed to be doing.
Yeah.
And my thought is, you know, don't wait. You know, a lot of people will say, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. You know, really just take action, take the step, reach out and start today, because otherwise you're going to keep on wishing and it's a year later and you're still in the same place.
Right. Very much like the clients that we see, right? You know, that have been applying online to 1,000 jobs and
I know.
really can't figure out why it's not moving forward. But well, listen, this has been great. Appreciate you both taking some time out of your busy day. But so I'm Jim Peacock. I'm the principal at Peak Careers. I offer and have been offering the Facilitating Career Development class since 2001. Since 2010, I've been developed a number of online discussion-based seminars. So they're different than other online seminars in that I keep the under 10 people. The focus each week, they're 5 weeks long. The focus each week is on a different element of often a career theory or a topic. For example, right now I've got one coming up on the happenstance theory starting June 1st. And there's also an online seminar on the hidden gems of social media, using social media. Each week we take another element of that. There's assignments, there's readings, and then there's discussions. And that's really where there's a lot of growth and learning that happens. Love doing face-to-face workshops for career professionals. I do individual career coaching. And in 2 weeks, I'll be picking up the book, A Field Guide for Career Practitioners. And so you folks can order that now or order it when it gets here, but it's coming. And if you are a career practitioner, a career counselor, any person who delivers career services, feel free to sign up for my top 10 tips of working with an undecided person and receive our newsletters, which come out each week to provide career content for people. And you'll find me on LinkedIn, Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, Instagram. You can search for Peak Careers or Jim Peacock, and you'll find me, and would love to connect with you. So final thought, I just want to say thank you both very much for taking the time out of your day. I appreciate your perspective on this topic, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.